What's up, people? How you guys doing? Welcome to another episode of Jackson versus Jackson. Me, myself, and I. My partner Ajay be back tomorrow. So again, I'm jumping on here to discuss some Aggie ball. Okay. Uh, First up, you may or may not have heard, but we are making a QB change. QB1 this week versus the Miami Hurricanes will be, drum roll, please, Max Johnson. Yay! Wish I had some sound effects. Max Johnson, who I predicted would win the job. Like you're not gonna recruit him from LSU, a team that beat you guys with him as quarterback, and then not expect him to win the job. But ultimately, they chose Haynes King, and he's just proven that for whatever reason, man, he's not getting it done. So we had to make that change. I think if Jimbo hadn't made that change, he'd be looking real foolish after this Miami game. Hopefully, he looks real smart after this game, but he's got to do things other than just insert Max Johnson as the quarterback number one in order for this thing to work and in order for us to get this W, right? Uh, First of all, the reasons Haynes King won the job in the first place probably had more to do with his athleticism and speed, ability to be elusive than anything else. I think Max Johnson, his arm is probably better than King's. Accuracy may be the same because their percentages are basically the same, 64, 65% completion percentage, but Haynes King just looks terrible, good and terrible when he's been in there. And his athleticism, his speed, his running ability hasn't been enough. It's not like he's JFF, right? Johnny Football, when he ran that thing, you knew he was special, right? Haynes King, when he run that thing, you're praying that he gets down so nobody breaks his little butt apart. At least I do. He just looks tiny and skinny, and every time he gets tackled, it looks bad. So, Max Johnson ran the ball pretty darn well in the spring game, and he looked thicker. He could take a hit. You know, I mean, so we'll see. But I'm glad they made the change. I know most of Aggie land is glad they made the change, right? So now we've got to build on this. Now that he is in there, we've got to do things to help him out. And so I have 5 thoughts for this week versus Miami that's going to help Max Johnson out, help this team get a win. Number 5, the defense needs to play better against the run and mainly on third down, right? That Sam Houston State game was an anomaly. These guys, it was their first game. They were jacked. Good scheme. Uh, Tons of guys played. Well, then, they got a shutout. Maybe they start feeling themselves. I don't know. But I do know that App State had a chip on their shoulder. And I'll take a 3-star with a chip on his shoulder versus a 5-star that's feeling himself every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I just feel like those are the type of cats that you get the most out of. And I felt like that's what that week was last week. It was a bunch of no-name cats that had chips on their shoulders versus 4 and 5 stars who were feeling themselves a little bit, reading the clippings and stuff. So hopefully they're back to normal now. That loss brought them back down to size, and we won't have any more of that moving forward. And if not, I feel like We could run the table. I feel like we can have pretty good. And again, a lot of other things has to happen, which I'm finna get into. But number 5, yeah, third down, we got to get off the field, man. But it starts with first and second down and how we attack those downs, man. People can't run all on us and have third and 2, third and 1, right? We got to, create some third and longs and get off the field. Number 4, my fourth thought on this game and how we can win it. Jimbo needs to coach up the QBs better and call a more QB friendly game. He just has to, man. You know, you've been through Mond and King and Calzada and back to King, and you've only had one season where your quarterback performed well. And this is not even like superstar level expectations well. I mean, we just expect to have, decent quarterback play. That's all. Woo! And so that's not too much to ask. And too many times we haven't had that, right? That one season where Kellen Mond had decent play, uh, he wound up a third round draft pick because of it. Calzada transferred. Haynes King got hurt, and now Haynes King loses his job. You should be you're see. Everybody tosses around QB guru like to all these offensive coordinators that have good quarterbacks. A lot of times it just comes down to uh, how you manage that guy. You know, you don't have to be a QB guru to manage a guy to perform up to a certain level. And then whatever kind of moxie, whatever kind of talent he has can take over from there, right? But to put a guy in consistently good situations, that's a QB guru to me. That's like the best. Uh, that's like doing your job. I'm saying that's like the minimum, putting a guy in good situations, and then from there, his talent, the talent around him, execution, all that takes over. But come on, Jimbo, put the guys in good situations and let their talent take over. Right now, talent can't take over because we always behind the chains. We always not executing, stuff like that. Third thought on this game, the O-line got to play better. I saw 250-pound defensive ends running through our OTs and our guards. Well, not guards, but our OTs like they weren't even there. And this is bull rushes that I saw. It ain't like speed guys. I saw them running through them. I'm not gonna name them, call them out like that, but we know who they are, who the starters are, who played. You got ran through, son. You need to pick it up. You know, we should have chips on our shoulders this week. That entire O line should have a chip on their shoulder. I would, because the whole country is down on you. You went from number 6 to number 24 off a 3-point loss. If that don't put a chip on your shoulder, I don't know what will. No way in heck we should have dropped that far. App State's a good team. They ain't Michigan, but they are a good team. Expectations. But the Aggie hate, that's what that's about. People hate, they love to hate A&M for whatever reason. I have no clue why they hate us so much. We haven't done anything to make them hate us except beat Alabama and get the #1 recruiting class of all time. give our coach a $75 million contract before they were throwing those out there. What else have we done? So, I don't know why they hate us so much. Maybe because they all on Alabama's job. Everybody want Alabama to win every national title out there. They think Nick Saban is the greatest since Bear Bryant. So, I mean he's Bear Bryant didn't win every year. Like I'm sick of it. I am sick and tired of it. But we're still in top 25 and we can fight our way back. This was one game. It wasn't two games. It was, just because you lose to a lesser opponent, don't make you lose more games than somebody that lose to a big time opponent. It's one loss. Relax. They need to come out with the right frame of mind. That loss can't cause them to lose another game. Or it will, be that scenario. But it's one loss, brother. Get over it. We got Miami. Let's whoop up on some Canes. Number 2. Devon Achane needs to touch the ball more, man. He just does. I mean, he's explosive. He can't touch the ball 10 or 15 times, and you say, that's enough. It's not working. Let's move on to something else. No. If you remember last year, they would run him and run him. He was behind Spiller, but he would run and run. He wouldn't do very much. But then all of a sudden, third quarter, fourth quarter, he'd break one for 60, then break another one for 60. All of a sudden, at the end of the game, he had just as many rush yards as Spiller. But he's not the type that's going to give you 5, 6 yards every carry. But he will give you explosive carries, especially when the defense tires out. And you've got to expect that. You've got to have that built into your game plan. And ride him more. Now that he's running back number 1, treat him like it. Give him running back 1 carries, man. And we don't have gunslingers like that. Maybe Max Johnson will turn into a gunslinger. Because he damn sure looked like one against us last year. But as for now, we've got a running back that's proven to be very explosive, and especially in the second half of games, and we need to take advantage of that. And my number 1 thought going in this game is Max Johnson has to step up. Now, I've already put it on Fisher to create a QB-friendly game plan, right? But Max Johnson got to make plays too. You just do, son. And it's going to be pressure. Like everybody's favorite player is the backup quarterback. You're not the backup anymore, brother. You're QB1. So guess what? You go from being everybody's favorite player to being the player with the most pressure on him. And you've got to be able to handle that pressure the right way. And that includes when things go bad, move on. Like, don't get down if you throw an interception, brother. Do not. That stuff happens. Move on and don't let it happen again. Right? If Ruben Fatheree gets blown by and you get sacked, how are you going to handle that? All that goes into being QB1. Right? You've got to handle all that the right way. More so when things go wrong than when things go right. But I have faith in you, brother. I believe you can do it. I thought you should have been QB1 from jump, but I wasn't behind the scenes and those scrimmages and all that type of stuff. Right? So But now you have your opportunity. Don't blow it. Hold on to it. More than not blowing it, you need to embrace it and exceed your own expectations, because your expectations for yourself should be a lot higher than mine for you or the fans for you, right? Exceed your own expectations. Go in there with a plan, go in there with goals, right? And work to reach those goals and work that plan, you know? I mean, I believe in Fisher and Dickey and whoever else is involved in those conversations, man. Uh, Receivers coach, running backs coach. I think all of those guys, Coach Coley, have a wealth of knowledge and they can get you in the right spot and put you in the right situations. Okay, but once you're in those situations, it's on you, brother. Right? And I loved your dad, man, and the type of player he was, type of demeanor he had, and so, I believe you can have that same type of demeanor, right? Uh, Never get too low, never get too high. Uh, Hopefully, you can be a better quarterback than your dad was, because he was okay. He won a Super Bowl. Uh, he was he was serviceable. Won a Super Bowl with a very good defense. I believe you can win a national championship with a very good defense, right? And then let your skills take over, and and you can probably do some of the same things Joe Burrow did, you know. So, with that being said, uh, that's my wrap on the Aggies. Let's look at some games this week. I think UT has UTSA. So I think they'll win that game. UTSA is a tough program though right now, but I think UT will get them. UT might barely win it though, but they'll win it. Uh, Not a whole lot of other big games. Yeah, yeah. Let me harp on Tennessee, man. Tennessee plays Akron, which Tennessee should win that game going away. But Hendon Hooker for Tennessee, man. Love that guy. Love his demeanor. Love the ball coming out of his hands. He throws very catchable balls. He zips them in there, but he puts them in spots where the receivers can catch them and run. That's what I'm hoping to see from Max Johnson, because Haynes King was throwing them behind his receivers and at the feet and all over the place, right? That's why I love Hendon Hooker's game. I think with a good season, he could jump into the top 3 rounds, maybe top 2. What other games are out there? That's it. That's all I really want to talk about. Okay. So I am. It's cold in this building, so man, my nose is running. Forgive me. I am Erik T. Jackson. This is Jackson versus Jackson podcast. Uh, I'm your resident Aggie. Love A&M. Uh, Been a fan since 7th grade. Uh, Something y'all may not know, Coach Slocum used to write me letters when I was in high school. I wasn't a big time recruit, but I wrote him. And from that very first letter, he would always write me letters, invite me to the camps, just see how I'm doing, let me know that I'm on their radar. Uh, Even though I wasn't, but I still had those letters to this day. Can't be no less than 20. And that was from 9th grade through my senior year, you know. But you know, very vested in the Aggies. Uh so appreciate you guys listening, appreciate you guys watching. Until next time. Gig 'em.